best in podcasts, the best in town. You want to get up, get ready to get down. With its big wide sky and the wild river Thames, if you want to go, we can take you there to Great Falls, Montana.
Welcome to the greatest damn town in Montana, Great Falls. I'm Rebecca Ingham.
And I'm Shannon Newth.
Holy cow, and we are no damn experts. And for all you listeners out there, this is the second episode that we are doing as a couple.
I'm no damn expert. Am I supposed to be saying that with you?
No.
Okay.
I say it alone.
You
we
say
could
it for
say
both
it.
of us?
We could say it together if we sync up that well.
Okay.
Sometimes
we'll
it doesn't
practice
work.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But today in the podcast studio, you've heard Shannon and I talk to each other. I think we're doing pretty good. Today we have in the studio a mastermind, a physically fit human that wants to stretch the limits of all human capability. Yeah.
Keep going.
He's listening to the description that's me.
I'm gonna use this.
Someone who devotes their life to an endeavor that makes $0.
That's true.
Yeah. Welcome to the studio.
Very true. Yeah.
It's like, wait a second, this is very accurate. Yeah.
I know way more about him than he thinks I do. So welcome to the podcast, Luke Urick.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And this is only the second time that you two have done this together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Second time for the two of
Right.
us.
Well, the chemistry's fantastic.
Oh.
You guys are doing a good job.
Well, thank you.
I feel like I add something to it as well.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
clearly, you're jumping in already.
The
We
way
like it.
we did a survey of our members, and we said, what kind of things do you want tourism to be doing? And we got some feedback back when Madi was our co-host that the voices sounded too similar. And I was like, well, that's kind of what we're stuck with. That's who's on the staff. But, you could be the third edition to
There
We're
you
No
go.
Damn
There you
Experts.
I'm no damn expert. I feel like it works.
You fit right in around here.
We've only
Yeah.
met one in our lifetime.
Yeah.
So
All right. So, Luke, you're here, the brains and the brawn, if you will.
Thank you.
Yes. We're flattering him. We're
Totally.
buttering him up
Go
here.
ahead and continue.
because
doing
when
All
it
right.
gets worse and he doesn't want to talk to us, we're just going to remember when we were nice to you.
Remember? Yeah, buttered you up. Yeah. All right, so you are here today to talk about something. First off, I love the name, the Knuckle Buster Obstacle Challenge.
You like that?
I do.
Yeah.
Did you come up with it yourself?
Myself and Devin Dosky, one of my good buddies.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. And it literally has no reason, no rhyme. It just kind of all flowed well together, and it just worked. First try.
Well, and it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, it kind of hits a mark, right?
Yeah, I assume there's a lot of scraped body parts and things like that happening. Now, before we get too far into the Knuckle Buster Obstacle Course Challenge, tell us about the Montana Vet Program, because that's kind of who runs this, right?
Yeah. So this is our main fundraising event, right? So this is how we make money for our mission and what we do. But so what we've been focusing on for the last 5 years is we take groups of veterans into the backcountry areas of Montana in order to promote healing through camaraderie, physical activity, tough-minded healing, and just overall kind of getting after it. You know what I mean? Our motto is to suffer well, and that idea is to, graciously accept the day's pain, and with dignity, take it on. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
With that being said, we take groups. We go into the Absorkies. We do some floats, whatnot. We take our pig egg with us, and that's a really important part of the Montana Vet Program too. That's a well, the name usually throws people off, but what a pig egg is, it comes from the Marine Corps Scout Sniper community. And so a lot of us in the program come from that community. So when we were going through indocs or sniper school, whatever it may be, we would have instructors tell us to grab a pig egg, right? And a pig egg could be either a rock or a 35-pound sandbag, whatever it may be. And so you'd have your full kit, your battle load, whatever you're doing, whatever you're training with. And then on top of that, you'd have to carry a pig egg with you wherever you went, whether it was in your ruck or you carried it. And, it made life suck, right? Pretty much.
So that's the whole objective?
That's the whole objective behind
goal.
the pig egg is it's meant to make life suck for you.
So
It
you transferred
incurs
that
suffering.
motto to other things.
Yeah. So then we took that kind of that notion. Scott Moss, one of our team leaders, is his idea. So we took that idea and we took the dog tags from every man and woman who died in Iraq or Afghanistan. And it totals out at 7,054 currently.
Wow.
And so it totals out at weight at 75 pounds. So we take that with us on all of our trips, and it's a walking memorial, which allows everybody who goes on our trips to buy in.
Okay.
For most individuals who served in theater, they know somebody in that bag. Right?
Okay.
And so that allows that direct contact, right? That connection to the trip and what we're doing. So as let's say we're moving through the Bob Marshall Wilderness, one person has to take the pig egg at a time and carry it 75 pounds, right?
That was my big question.
Yeah.
Like a group of people can't carry one thing at 75 pounds.
Right.
It
Yeah.
would be awkward.
Yeah, right.
It'd keep you close.
It would keep you bonded. Yeah.
It is relatively small, so you'd be close for sure. But no, so everybody takes turns carrying it, and everybody else has equipment, their pack and the tents and sleeping bags and food and all that other stuff that we bring with us into the backcountry. But we take turns rotating through who has to carry the pig egg. And, after, an hour, half hour of doing that, it kind of wears you out. And that's kind of a good thing, right? Because, again, that suffering piece is really what we push in our program, which seems kind of counterintuitive. Most people don't really think of suffering as a way of healing, but it's actually quite ironic that suffering is right on the very edge of evolution. If you don't have suffering, you can't actually evolve.
There's no progress.
Exactly. That's what kicks off evolution.
Sure.
So then I guess I could take it in a way and say that in order for us to evolve emotionally, psychologically, we've got to have that suffering piece. And so that's really what we push. And when we're on our trips and these guys are suffering, guys and gals are suffering, it opens them up. It allows them to talk a little bit. Not only does the suffering do that, obviously the camaraderie of getting to be around like-minded individuals who have shared an experience similar to yours. Also just being in nature, right, does a lot. And it's just in the way that if I fall out of a boat, and I'm in water and I hit the water, I can't help but get wet. When I'm in nature, I can't help but just be affected by the natural algorithms that occur in nature. And it talks to kind of the primal side of me and kind of loosens us up. And there's quite a bit of empirical evidence that can point towards the importance of being in the outdoors. So when you couple all of that together, you get some progress for individuals who might be suffering from maybe just an inaccurate perspective on life, right? And so I would, at the simplest form, what we're trying to do is just, if there's individuals who are suffering internally, we're going to put a little more suffering on them externally with the intent and hope that we can also change that perspective just a bit to maybe approach a problem differently, right? Like if I'm taking machine gun fire from, 12 o'clock, there's no point in me just standing here and just eating it up, right? I want to move and try to hit them from another spot. And that's kind of a really important part too. The language piece for veterans is really, really, and men in general, right? Because men definitely don't want to talk about emotions.
You can't get too flowery with that language, right?
Yeah, it is, right? Like that's really a thing. If I start talking too much woo-woo or hippie, whatever
woo-woo,
you want,
I like that.
whatever you call it. Then,
Let's talk about your feelings.
guys, you want to just bring it in?
Let's
talk
hold
about our feelings.
hands.
How are you
Let's
doing?
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. Nobody wanted to come
No
with
one wants
us.
to work.
Yeah.
Let's go in the woods
We
and
got
hold
0
hands.
people
Yeah.
this week.
Weird.
Yeah, so we have to really con them in.
Yeah.
We lie to them, get them up on the mountain.
Good old bait and switch.
Yeah, bait and switch.
Make them
Yes,
work
you
really
suffer.
hard.
Then
Yeah.
we talk about our feelings.
Yeah.
A lot. The
Well,
tears
once they're
start
worn
flowing.
down,
Yeah.
it opens the door a
It
little
does,
more, right? Yeah.
And that's literally, honestly, what happens.
It sounds like an awesome experience.
It is.
I
It
mean,
is,
I can't
yeah.
tell if Rebecca's being
No,
sarcastic or not.
honestly,
I can tell that she's completely honest.
I am. Now, chicks do it, non-veteran chicks do it in a completely different way, usually over White Claws in the mountains. And then, about the 5th one, they start crying and they're like, I love you so much. But
Guys
the
do
nature,
the same thing, but it's whiskey. Yeah.
but it doesn't look the same.
Probably
Which
not.
one's? Well, I feel like when it's women, it's better. It's cuter.
I don't know. There's
Yeah.
just a lot more, like the guys in camp. This happened last weekend. So the guys in camp just walk a lot faster past us, and then they don't want to talk because they realized what's happening. But then the guys go do the exact same thing
Yeah.
on their dirt bikes, and they're like, "Man, it's just so nice to be in the mountains."
Yeah.
Why was your wife crying? Well, probably because of me. This is the situation.
Did you consider consoling her?
I'm like,
maybe you shouldn't be such a meanie to her.
I'm sure that's the language too. Meaning.
She was
Yeah.
making up some shit about me not doing the dishes or something. So I didn't
you
do
know,
the dishes.
the
But
women.
Yeah, I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention. But
So how many people go through your like how many times are you taking people out into the wilderness?
that's a fantastic question. So we've definitely evolved, right? Like our tactics have evolved since we started. But currently where we're at, we do 4 trips a year. We do 1 per season. That's about as much as we can handle.
Okay.
Everybody in the program, obviously we have jobs, and so
That's good.
so that's about where what we can take is the 4 trips per year, and then we can max out at 12 people per trip. Up to this point, we just had a float trip, and we had 12 people on that. That was with team leaders included. So yeah, we're right around. We can do if we were to max out everybody, we'd do about 50 vets in a year.
Okay.
Which doesn't sound like that it's that much, but that's honestly kind of what we want.
Well,
it's
and you would
meant
have to
be
keep
quality.
the groups fairly small to get the experience
Yeah.
that you want out of
Yeah,
it, right?
100%, 100%,
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of repeats or not?
We have people repeat, absolutely. Yeah, we've had people from Florida, Mexico City,
Holy
Washington,
Wow.
the Midwest. Yeah.
How do you
absolutely.
find these people?
Well, that's the crux to it all. Since we started, was getting folks to be a part of our program. We always knew that would be the hardest, because the individuals that we want to help are the people who are really suffering, right?
Sure.
Like that vet who's down in a basement somewhere and never comes out, and is just kind of internally locked psychologically in their own mind and doesn't want to
Yeah.
really take a risk by ever coming out again. Those are the folks that we want to be a part of our program, because we have things we want to share with them.
Right.
Yeah.
But recruitment has been the issue. So we've done rifle raffles in the past that allow us to sell raffle tickets and spread the word. We're working with the VA right now with different team leaders and vet centers across the state. So using them as kind of a conduit to our program is what we found to be working the best so far. And so we're just kind of continuing to nurture that relationship and kind of lean on counselors to, send folks our way.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So where does the vet program and the Knuckle Buster Obstacle Challenge,
where
where do
does
they
that-
convene? Yes.
Fantastic.
Before you answer that, do they have to pay to do these trips, or okay? So now,
No
perfect.
payment, no.
Let's. Where do they intersect? Back to Shannon's question.
Yeah, so in order to do these trips, right, we got to make some money for ourselves. So in the past, we've done rifle raffles, which that's a slog. So we're done with those. But we started doing the obstacle challenge, mainly because I find that there's actually something fantastic about a Spartan race,
Yeah.
right? An individual who sets out, sees the date on the calendar 6 months from now, I know I'm going to do the Spartan race or this Knuckle Buster, and I'm going to start training, right? And so then I start training. I'm doing something positive. I'm working on my body. I'm getting into shape.
Yeah.
The day comes, and now I'm super scared, right?
With good reason.
Yeah, 100%. You should be afraid. You can't have courage if you don't have fear.
Right.
You have to.
That's
you
a
have
good
to
point.
be. You have to be
Yeah.
afraid, and that's
Yeah.
okay. Fear is a good thing. We just have to make sure that we don't let it
The right outlet for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair. And we don't let it override us, right? It doesn't dominate us. But
Yeah.
in order to ensure that fear doesn't dominate, we courageously move forward, and we then take on whatever scary challenge, this one, the Knuckle Buster Obstacle Challenge. So then we take that on, right? And we push through it, and we suffer, and we sweat, and we hurt, right?
Yes.
And we get done with it. And then once we're done with it, we've accomplished, right?
Yeah.
And when you do really hard things, and I'm sure that we've all done them, it doesn't just have to be something physical, but when you've done something that's challenging and pushed you to your limits and you succeeded, you always have that in the back of your pocket. You know what I mean? I can always look back and say, you know what, I did that. So whatever future event is really challenging or scary, I've got that and I've done that before.
Yep.
I'm ready to take this one on as well. And so I genuinely believe, and this is a little corny, but I genuinely believe that, doing an event like this can change the trajectory of your life, because
Yeah.
you take this on, you knock it out, you do it, you've, like I said, succeeded, and you just keep gaining from there,
Do you have people who participated in the Knuckle Buster Challenge that we're
Why
not
are you
prepared.
laughing? Do I sound like a motivational
Well,
coach
because
right now?
right now I'm thinking, we were talking yesterday about how we're going to sponsor Shannon as the athlete to go through the Knuckle Buster Obstacle Challenge.
Oh, good.
You know, and it's coming
I
up
learned that
Yeah.
yesterday.
in a month.
Yeah,
And so I'm thinking, you're so right about accomplishing hard things and how much that builds your ability to do more hard things.
Yes.
But has anyone showed up like the day before and they're like, I'm going to do
Like, no
this,
training.
register, and then they get through it and they're like, well, this was the dumbest thing I've ever done. And halfway through the course, they're just laying
maybe
in
they
a
don't-
puddle of mud crying, going, why did I think this was such a good idea?
Yeah.
And there you are just cheering them on. You can do this. And I'd be there going,
Yeah.
no, I can't. You
Yeah.
clearly don't know who I am.
Yeah.
Maybe should have trained for this a little bit.
Yeah. That's called a code red. Yeah, we
Okay.
have a call sign for it.
They
Then
have
they
a
call
code.
me up, and then I run up, find the individual, and I just motivate them, get them back up, and
Oh,
start
no.
running
You don't just
again.
pull them to the side of the course.
It's not a medical.
You're
If
done.
if my motivational techniques don't work, then yeah, all right, dude, just
Yeah.
jump in the back of the Ranger,
Yeah.
bro.
All right.
You're good.
It's
We'll get you back
mental
to the
first,
finish line.
then medical after
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but as of so far, no. But the coolest story I have was from the first year that we did the Knuckle Buster, because what I just explained was an individual event. We also have a team event,
Okay.
right? Which nobody else has. This is organic to us and is our thing. So we do a 5-person team. It has to be co-ed, right? And this is where it kind of ties into MVP. There's a direct correlation. So you have to run through the entire course, but now you have to carry a 75-pound sandbag, brute force sandbag with you the entire way.
Not the actual peg egg.
Not the actual pig egg, but a pig egg, right?
I mean, a sandbag sounds. I've been doing yard work recently, trying to drag a not 75-pound
So you've been
sandbag up the
practicing.
hill. I guess I have been. Yeah.
Working on your
Trying
grip
to work
strength.
my guard in there. Yeah. Sand is not light, even when it's only a small amount. Like that's a heavy thing.
Well, another fantastic property, of sand is that it takes on moisture. So
Yes.
when you get it wet, then it comes.
It's gonna be
then
even
it's-
more heavy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
90 pounds. So then
Perfect.
and we definitely have mud pits and all that good stuff.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So then the teams, right? They have to carry this through the entire course, right? And the first year that we did it, we had some pretty fantastic teams, but it was actually the team that came in last that was actually the most magical. And that first year that we did it, we had a gauntlet at the finish line. And so if you can imagine, everybody's gone through the event, they're coming back. We also have like beer gardens because
Thank God.
That's
I
the good
know.
finish line thing.
I mean, that's what you
There
need.
genuinely isn't a better beer
That'll
on the planet
motivate
than
you
after
people.
you get done with an
Right.
obstacle
Ooh,
course race.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you've done an obstacle course race and had that beer, you know what I'm talking about. So here everybody's already finished, so everybody's kind of hyped up because they've kind of got that adrenaline,
Yeah.
The
that
endorphins
euphoria,
have
the
to.
endorphins, yeah, pushing them, made it, right? And then you've got all the volunteers who've kind of collapsed in because this team is literally at 6 hours. It's taken most teams, right around 2.5 to 3 hours,
Oh,
right,
that's
to do this.
This
A
is
lot
like
longer.
my team.
Yeah.
These are my people.
Right.
They
So
showed
then,
up the day before.
and we're tracking this team because like the pig egg itself, it has a tracker inside of it. And we've got competitive time in there. The group that's
Or if
doing
they
our
get
timing.
lost, you can
or if they
find them
get
on the
lost.
mountain somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are all things we have to calculate into our, into our formula. But so we know that they're out there. We've got search and rescue with them, and they're just slogging away. And everybody's been done for a while, and now everybody's at the finish line again. They're amped, and now some of them are getting a little drunk and
What?
whatnot.
4
which is,
hours of drinking.
well, I mean, we've had a bunch of heats and whatnot, so
not
fully
everybody
formed.
at
it's
the
not
same
4
time
hours. It's maybe
done.
been like
Okay.
45 minutes, right?
Okay.
So here they come around the corner, and they just look like beaten death, right? Like here they come, but they still have 2 8-foot walls that they have to climb
Oh
up and
my
over.
gosh.
Then they have a 45-degree rope climb wall that they have to go up and over, and they have to get the pig egg.
I was
through
like,
all
is
of it.
this the one with the sandbag too? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So, but they come around the corner, and there's a tire pit in there. There's a tire pit, which
Yeah.
is
By the
so
way.
diabolical. Like they have to walk through a bunch of tires, carrying shit, you like trip,
Yeah.
and it cuts you, folds on your head and shit.
We'll ask about who plans these obstacles in a minute. Yeah.
I know, right? The sadist in me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So here they come. They got to go through all these obstacles, right? But the coolest thing that happened from this was as soon as the crowd saw them come around, right? They just went wild.
Oh.
Just started roaring and cheering. And they didn't know these people.
Yeah.
Nobody knew anybody. You know what I mean? all that we knew was that team was over there. They had to make it about 100 yards through all these obstacles, and we were all just going to cheer our asses off so that they could do
I'm
it.
getting like goosebumps thinking about that moment.
And I am too.
Yeah.
And that's kind of,
Yeah.
It was
There's
tangible.
something
The energy
magical
was
about
like,
that
actually,
time.
you could touch it. And so here they come, and like you can almost see their posture change. Like from here they are like a whip dog, like just defeated, just grinding it out, and then boom, they get hit with all this positive energy from everybody in the crowd, and you kind of see their posture almost standing up a little bit. You know? They're kind of standing upright a little bit more, and then they take on the tire pit, and boom, they get through it. Then they take on that first wall, and everybody's cheering for them. Boom, they make it up over that one. Then they get to the second one, and they're just like, by now they don't even hardly need help. They're just like energized,
carrying
boom, boom,
them
boom.
through.
And before you know it, they're through the entire thing, right?
Wow.
Boom, they take on the last 45-degree rope climb up and over. And I believe it was a female lieutenant that was leading the team. And she was a badass. I wish I remembered her name off the top of my head, but she was a badass. She was a local lieutenant here at Malmstrom. And it was just kind of cool to also get to see her just kind of lead the charge.
Yeah.
You got everybody cheering them on, and then they finish. And they literally became the heroes of the day. It wasn't
That's fantastic.
nobody remembers, who won it.
Who won?
Nobody
Yeah.
remembers any of that. Everybody just remembers that team that took 6 hours and that we all cheered for.
Yeah.
And but that's the kind of camaraderie that you get out of events like this. And this is one thing. That's one reason I just really enjoy and think that this event can be something positive in people's lives. Like, you've got something to train for, and fitness is important. We're getting to that point now, like, that we know that health is important, and that's not just physical,
the
but
mental,
mind, body,
physical
spirit
goes together.
as well.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the starting point is physical, right? That's the starting point to self-improvement. And so being able to provide a carrot out there for everybody to get to be a part of and use as something to motivate them to make themselves better, and then by doing it you improve yourself even more. Like, everybody wins, right? Like, it's just positive. The only negative is just that suffering, but again, you got to have suffering if you want to evolve.
Suffering well.
That's why you suffer well. Yes, ma'am.
Every morning when I get on the treadmill, it's not fun, and I'm not doing nothing major. Just physical.
You should write on a note card "suffering well" and tape it on the treadmill in the morning.
I'll just listen to this podcast.
There you go, over and over. Or write pig egg on there, and remember, at least you're not carrying a 75-pound bag of sand with you.
Right.
Or you could incorporate that.
Well, I kind of am already.
Rebecca next year.
Here we go.
I'm not going to train. I'm just going to show up.
Okay, I love it.
Even though you just said, not a good idea. Yeah. Okay, so anyone can participate, right? Obviously it benefits the veterans program, but this is for anybody, correct?
Yeah.
Like kids, 5-year-olds.
Okay, so then no. Let me back up, Roger.
Threw a
I'm
curveball at you.
sorry. 16 plus, right?
Okay.
Yeah, 16 plus. Yeah.
I guess my question was, you don't have to be in the military to be involved with this.
Good question.
No, ma'am.
But
No,
also
everybody,
clarify, not 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
But not 5 years
Okay.
old. Yeah.
All right. So walk us through this. We've talked about the fact that there are obstacles.
Yeah.
What kind of obstacles are we talking about? How many?
Do they change every year?
So we have 15 to 20 obstacles, right?
Okay.
The idea is to rotate obstacles every year, 100%. Are they going to completely change every year? Probably not.
Yeah.
But we will have new obstacles, yeah. And we're talking about, we've got mud pits, we've got different wall climbs.
Is there fire involved?
No fire.
Okay.
No.
I feel like
Should we
I'm
have
out.
fire?
yeah, that's the last thing.
Like a flaming wall.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
there's like
no, I
a
was
section
just
cut out
thinking,
that you've
like,
got to
you
get
could, like,
through.
dive through
Kind of
it.
like a donut, you
Yeah.
gotta get through it, but it's
Yeah,
on
I'd do
fire,
that.
right? Yeah, you do that,
I would
right?
do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
get
that
it.
seems
I know.
like a
So
reasonable
add
thing
that
to
to your
do.
treadmill routine in
Yeah.
the morning. Put
I'll
fire
jump through it.
around you.
Well, I'll practice on just like a hoop to start
Okay.
with.
I don't think anything motivates like fire.
Right.
This is true.
Like, yeah.
I
don't
was
wanna get
thinking
burned.
like hot coals. You had to walk across hot coals
like a coal
barefooted.
walk. Oof.
Or on your hands, maybe that would be.
Oh, this is
Well,
good.
You don't
that's
wanna-
true.
Yeah, you don't want to melt the
Like-
rubber on your feet, but something
Your
more
hands, no big
applicable
deal,
to your
though.
hands,
Yeah.
Right.
No
You don't
big
need
deal.
those.
Yeah.
No.
And you definitely aren't going to fall.
Yeah. No.
You're definitely going to be motivated
No.
to stay on your hands.
That should maybe be at the end if we're blistering our hands, so then climbing the walls.
I don't know.
I was actually thinking
Fire
it'd be
than
right
mud
before your
put?
rope climb.
gosh.
I was thinking right before a mud pit, because then you can get the mud, coke it on, and
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
all kinds
right.
of strategies
Cool it
here.
off a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so
Strategy.
speaking of strategy, is there a strategy? Do you have like a
Does Luke
recommendation?
just show up at the mountain and go, well, I think this today.
Here we go.
Wait,
Yeah.
strategy for what? I guess exactly, like taking it on,
suffering
or
well over
suffering?
those obstacles. If I'm
Breathing.
Yeah.
Breathing's a really good one. Control your breathing. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Diet. Yeah,
Yeah.
make sure that you've, you're loaded with carbs and proteins and all that good stuff the morning of. Hydrate.
Okay.
Right?
So it's coming up July 16th.
Yes,
so somebody could potentially start training now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
What can you, besides, getting some cardio, weightlifting, what type of things should I be doing
Hill
to
climbs,
train?
Hill climbs.
Hill
sprints.
climbs,
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
Climbing walls.
Calisthenics.
Over your
100%.
fence.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and if you've got like a barbed wire fence out there or something, just use that as kind of high jump and just work on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have one of those, Rebecca? You live kind of out of barbed wire you can
No,
grab
not
onto.
anymore. I don't have any more. I mean, I have access to barbed wire fences.
Okay. All right.
They're nearby.
Okay. Maybe wrap that around your treadmill too.
There we go.
Okay. Just set the
Let me
barbed
just
wire
This
on
be
is going to be
fire.
a suffer machine.
This is you're the sponsored athlete for this one.
This is true.
I'm gonna
Well, you sound really
I'm gonna
excited about
volunteer
it.
at the beer gardens.
Okay.
Okay.
You can throw a beer on
I'll go
me
next
as
year
I'm finishing.
after you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a commitment.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
I like this. Yeah, you get her
Luke, you're such
like
an asshole.
here's a piece of paper and a pen. You can
Yeah.
get her to sign
Oh,
right
sign
now.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how
sounds like a
enthused you
great
are.
thing. So let's get back to the obstacle
Okay.
course. The
Let's do it.
obstacles. Where do you store them during the year? Because like
Oh.
a
Ooh, so we got logistical questions,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? So we're working our way through all this stuff this year because this is the first time that we've done it with Showdown. So this is all brand new.
Whole new
to us.
terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a Connex box
oh,
that
okay.
we just put everything in.
Okay.
Yeah, store
carry it
that way.
around.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay, so Showdown, it's outside of Great Falls. Obviously in the winter, people go there to ski, snowboard, all of that.
Is Avery going to participate?
She should. Ooh,
She could be
put her
our
on
sponsor.
shout out, right?
Yeah. I want their dogs to participate too. The Showdown dogs.
Yeah.
Probably not allowed.
Probably not allowed.
Well,
Throw the
5
dog
years-
over the wood walls.
5-year-olds aren't allowed. I don't think he's going to let dogs in.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's a little X-rated.
Yeah. All right. So X-rated.
Ooh.
Whoa.
One time a year this thing happens?
Yes.
Okay.
How you said 2 hours. Is that a typical time frame of how long it should take humans to do this?
I think that's reasonable.
Okay.
Okay.
What time does it start?
07:30 is the first heat.
Okay.
Right, and
Gotta
so
get
then
up
every
early.
15 minutes after that, we're launching heats, and so then we've got
Okay.
a trail run. That's the first thing that we do. Right?
Okay.
So that'll be just going through the course, but you're not doing any of the obstacles. It's just a trail run. Then you go into our competitive male and female heats, and that will be the obstacle course, but for individuals who are competing for first, second, third place.
Okay.
And
What do you
then
win besides, pride?
You're the fastest time.
But do you get a
Pride
prize? Do
and
you get
Yeah.
money? Do
Yeah.
you get
Yeah, so first place,
tent?
$100. You get $100, and then you get recognized with a medal.
okay?
Right? And then third place, 50, and wait, what did I say? Third place? I'm sorry, second place would be 50, and then third place would be a $25 check. And then again, recognized with medals for those two heats,
Okay.
competitive female and male.
Okay.
And then we go into the team heats, right? So then for the winning team, that's $1,000, whoever wins that.
Nice.
Right, and then also you're recognized with medals as well as a team trophy that you get.
And you
So-
get to take home your 75-pound
Sandbag.
sandbag.
You don't,
Oh,
no.
okay.
No,
Is the trophy like the Stanley Cup where it has to come back next year, or
Oh.
like is it a new one every year?
it's a new one every year.
Okay.
Yeah, but it will be heavy.
I mean, I'll win it and then I'll pass it along to you next
Okay.
year. So we'll,
We'll
make
just
it
keep
like
it
that.
here in the office.
Yeah.
So when
You
your guys' team does win eventually, you guys mount it out here somewhere
Eventually.
with
Did you
pride.
hear that?
Yeah.
He's like, eventually,
Yeah.
10 years from now.
See, I believe in you.
Yeah.
I
Just-
feel like I'm
This
more of a
is ill-
cheerleader for
this
you
is
than you are for
ill-placed belief.
yourself.
This
Huh?
is an
Is it?
ill-placed
Yeah.
belief. I don't think you've seen my morning 30
Well, I've never been
minutes
much
on-
of a
She's
gambler,
made it.
so
She's made it sound like she's got this intense routine in the morning.
It's not intense.
no.
Okay.
Peanut butter toast, a little walk on the treadmill while I
Eat
watch.
and exercise at the same time.
Yeah, some
why not?
Judge
Yeah, that's
Judy
cool.
show.
Wow.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a way to start your morning. I like it.
You do you.
Okay. So at Showdown, which is a ski hill, as we mentioned, so are you going? Is there a lot of elevation change then that's happening between these
Ooh.
A
obstacles?
significant amount.
Yeah, I would think so.
Up and down.
Okay.
Is
okay.
that new this year? Because this is the first time you've been at Showdown. Has it been mostly flat ground before?
No, there's been let's say this. There was more flat ground before.
Okay.
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
definitely less now.
So definitely more of a challenge this year.
Definitely
Yes.
more of a challenge.
Okay.
yes.
And it's 15 to 20 obstacles. Is it like a 5K over the course of a 5K, a
3
10K?
miles. Yeah,
Okay.
3 miles.
Gotcha.
Yeah. 3 miles plus.
Okay. Is that include if you just do the trail run? Is it same distance?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. You
Yep.
just run around the
You
obstacles
just run
instead
yeah,
of
you
over.
Don't do the
Okay.
obstacle. Yeah.
So you can still go up and participate and
Yeah.
not be part of the opposite. There you go.
Yeah.
Did you see the look she gave me? I
She's a
suggested
runner.
that.
Yeah.
She not just runs for fun. She got scholarships to go to college
Well,
to run.
I should clarify. I was a D3 athlete, which is the only one that doesn't get scholarships,
Oh,
but it does make
so
me sound cool.
She
so,
went to
sure.
college to run.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
her job.
Yeah.
I run away from things that are scary. That's my running. That's it. One time a pig squealed behind me when I was on the farm. I sprinted home, which was a good mile from where the pig was.
Yeah.
You're a runner.
Never touched the ground. I am sure I looked like the Roadrunner cartoon the
pretty
entire way to the
impressive.
Wow.
house.
Yeah.
My
Well,
mom
see?
still laughs about it.
And in your defense, like a shrieking pig can be
Would
quite
make anybody
terrifying.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
They
like
will
a little
eat you.
one. It was
Yeah.
the big kind.
Oh,
That was like
gosh.
this
Yeah, that guy was
big.
hungry.
Oh.
He was coming for
He'd
you.
come
That was
right
life
up
or
behind
death
me.
then.
Yeah, I was sitting
Yeah.
there on the panel, just minding my own business, and there it comes, ready to eat me, and
Yeah.
gone.
I've heard
Gone.
you don't want to fall into a pig pen.
No.
It's not a good ending for you.
Mm-mm.
So it's good you ran away.
I mean, we've
Yeah.
all seen Snatch, right?
So if you got a pig up there,
If you got
I'll
a pig
finish
farm,
that.
Yeah,
in-
that
Avoid
should
those
be
guys,
at the
yeah.
end. You just throw a bunch of
Throw a couple
running
pigs,
pigs
yeah.
Oh no,
after you.
that's
that
how
would
you
mo-
start it.
Oh, in the mud pit. You have to not just get through the mud, but run
With
away from the
pigs.
Right,
pigs.
right.
There you
Ooh.
go. We're coming up with all kinds of new
maybe
obstacles
I can see if the
for
Hoodites
you.
will sponsor me with that.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah, bring in
Yeah.
more of the community.
Yeah.
I like it.
The 4-H kids whose pigs don't
Or
make
4-H.
weight.
That's even better, right? That's
Yes.
better.
The
Yeah.
4-H kids' pigs that
proper-
don't make weight will be in the
There you
mud
go.
pit
Muscle
with
them
ya.
up a little bit.
Well,
I
I'm
like
concerned
it.
that they might be a little too housebroken.
Oh,
right?
they're awesome.
yeah,
Those
they're like nice pigs. You can
Yeah.
ride those and pet them, and they like
I mean,
sit
for
on your lap.
liability purposes, it might be better if you
Yeah,
go with
yeah,
nice
right.
pigs. Yeah, yeah.
That's a
could
great
convince-
question.
Uh-oh.
Do they have to sign away their life when they sign up for this? There's got to
course
be
they
some
do.
type of
Yeah. Of
course
liability
they do,
waiver.
yeah.
Like, dude, you
Multiple
know
times,
you're
yeah.
gonna
Yes.
go through mud and
Yes,
get shot from a distance with a
potentially fall
pellet
off
gun.
a wall.
Get
yeah.
shot.
Wait,
Wow.
hold on.
Maybe you wanna
Absolutely
clarify.
0 pellet guns being shot.
I was like, you might want to jump in here on this one.
Nobody's
Okay.
shooting pellets at anyone.
Okay, I didn't know how
But
bad
I like,
it got.
yeah, I like where your mind's at. I appreciate that.
She's just going
So-
there.
Yeah, just go in there.
In the future, maybe we get to sponsor and then design our own course.
Okay, I'm bringing up the gophers again because it makes sense. Our obstacle course is just avoiding gophers trying to come in.
I don't know if
there's
you noticed.
I've
carnage
literally
out
been
there.
watching WWE out here,
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is insane.
and they like tear each other apart.
yeah, they
They're
eat
heinous
they
little
eat they
things,
eat each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like pigs. Like
So
they
we have
will
our
eat
own
each other,
we
yeah.
have our own obstacle course. That's our thing is trying to walk across the grass without getting.
Are you guys
nipped
familiar
at.
with Nature is Metal on Instagram?
No.
Does
So
this
you
have to do
should-
with gophers?
It does. It absolutely does. They've got, like, so it's dedicated to basically the brutality of nature, right?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so like an eagle eating like a gopher and
gopher.
like tearing them in two, and I feel like you guys have the potential to catch a couple gophers just
Oh.
pulling each other's heads off,
yeah.
Okay.
and then you guys could post it on
That is
Nature's
part of.
Metal.
I mean, that's part of my new job. So maybe that's
There-
what I should be going for to
You just
capture for my
film.
first posts here.
Film all day until
Yeah.
that happens.
I mean, I feel like that would bring people
Yeah.
to the area, right? To watch
I think-
gophers
yeah, I
eat
don't
each
know.
other.
Is that our kind of people? Is
I
that what
don't
we're
know.
going for?
I don't know.
Well, we'll send them to Showdown.
There
to
we
do
go.
the-
To do the
Knuckle
Knuckle
Buster.
Buster.
Have people shoot
And
them
then
with
Luke,
pellet
Luke
guns.
can take care of them then. Yeah. we got
Fine,
this-
we'll get Nerf guns.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, activate all the
That's
senses.
Totally
Luke's
true.
like, let's.
And maybe
be done.
occasionally we could just drop a tree like into the course as people are running.
I
And
see
you
why.
scream timber, and they have no
Yeah,
idea where
yeah.
it's coming.
Yeah.
I see why we need a liability signature to sign off your life here. Yeah. Okay.
So if people can't participate in the obstacle course, what else can they do to support Montana Vet Program? Raffle a gun?
Well, so we use volunteers quite often. We use search and rescue. Obviously, is going to help us with this. We've got search and rescue down in Carbon County. They're going to help us with some of our trips when we do shuttles. We've got local volunteers that help us, again, do transportation for insert and extract from our trips. So, I mean, there's the generic thing I could say is donate to MVP, but I feel like we take pride in kind of making our own money for ourselves.
Sure.
But please donate to MVP. Like, we could use it, you know. But
you'll take money?
I'll take money, you know.
And I imagine another thing is if you know a veteran who could benefit from this, connecting them with that information.
Yes, thank you. You're 100% right. The best thing that you could do is...
She brings the professional level.
Thanks for doing my job. Yeah, if the best thing that you could do for us is if you do know somebody who you think would benefit from our program, and is ready to take that step, you know. And not all vets, and this it's not just vets though either. You know what I mean? Like, there are plenty of people out there, nurses out there, and firefighters and police officers that deal with rough shit and need help. You know, we just focus on veterans that, you know, occasionally that need help, and so if they're ready to take that step and maybe want to learn something different, point them in our direction, and I think that we could help them.
Awesome.
Is there a cutoff date for when they can register for the obstacle course?
Nope, day of the event.
Oh,
okay.
See, I'll be there.
Yeah.
And you said anyone 16 and older.
16 plus,
16 and older. And how much does it cost for someone to register?
Yeah, so we've got a couple different price ranges, right? So until the 18th, it's $85, and then from the 19th to the 2nd of July, it'll be $95, and then from the 3rd of July to the day of the event, it'll be $105.
Okay.
Per person, but what about the team?
Multiply that times 5. Yeah.
So it's just a per person thing.
Gotcha.
Keeps it simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
All right. Anything else that we covered a lot of ground here. We covered a lot of ground. Anything else that people should know?
Today,
yes,
right?
we did. Yeah.
We learned more about each other than we probably needed
I'll
to.
bet you guys did not expect to learn this much about each other.
You know, the way you approach this is really phenomenal. And before we went on air, you said you were a student before you did other things.
Yeah.
What kind of things did you study?
I got my bachelor's degree in psychology, and then I got my master's degree in management science. So, and I am like a psych nerd. Like, I love to.
Well, that comes in handy with what you're doing.
It does.
Yeah.
It does a lot. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's helpful for me.
That's
too.
what I had suspected, but I wanted to confirm it.
Yeah.
All right. And you were, tell us just a little bit about your background. You're stationed at Malmstrom.
Yeah.
Stationed or?
I'm
stationed or working there now?
Well, no, yeah. So I just work there. I'm civil service, right? But I'm married and I have 3 kids. Actually, my son, I have an 18-year-old son. My wife Jill and I, we've been married for 18 years. We've been together for 22 years. So
that's a long time.
It is, right? I know.
Suffering well.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
Don't tell her.
No, she gets it all the time. Yeah, our anniversary is actually our 18th anniversary is in 2 days.
Nice.
3 days.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm gonna mess it
Congratulations.
up.
Uh-oh. That's okay. This will air after it, so
we'll
you won't worry about that.
It's already been done.
Yeah.
It's already done. But so I did 8.5 years in the Marine Corps. I did 3 deployments to Iraq. I was a part of Operation Phantom Fury for my very first deployment when we burned down Fallujah. And then I became a scout sniper team leader, did that for 2 deployments. Then I went to the Mountain Warfare Training Center where I taught, along with most of the individuals who are part of this program actually come from the Marine Corps Scout Sniper, Mountain Scout Sniper cadre. And so I was a part of that for 3 years where we got to teach guys survival, man tracking, high angle fire, rappelling, basically all that G.I. Joe stuff that you would see in a Bond movie. We got to work with.
That all comes in handy to run this obstacle course.
Yeah. So this is probably kind of filling in some of the gaps. Then I got out. My wife and I and my 3 kids, we all moved home, and I was fortunate enough that I was able to go to use my GI Bill and knock out my schooling. I got done with that, and then my wife was able to go to school. She got her bachelor's degree as well.
Awesome.
So in legal studies. So shout out to her, 100%.
Yeah.
Got done with that. And while I was doing my master's degree, we just started, myself and a couple other vets just started kind of putting these ideas together. And there was also kind of identified there was a need, there's a lack, right? Like the whole notion of, I get a little bent out of shape a little bit when it comes to the notion of just sitting on a couch and having somebody listen to all my problems, right? And number one, if you've never been in my situation, then how the hell are you going to actually understand what my situation is? And then how are you going to give me...
There's a credibility.
There's a credibility piece. And I just thought when we were developing this that we could do quite a bit more, you know, with taking veterans, guys who've got their own experiences and can communicate effectively and are good at teaching. Instruction is a really important part of this too.
And in their language.
And in their language. That's something that's very, 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 very important to communicating with veterans, as it is with moms communicating with each other. You know what I mean? Like, but all of that, and just seeing that something needed to be done other than just doing this couch therapy, right? And there's a time and a place for that as well, but getting people up, remembering that they've got to be healthy first, right? Like, your diet is so important. Your gut being the second brain is so important to how your emotional and mindset will be moving forward, and teaching folks that. Fitness, you know, that's important. Your ego, most human beings don't even understand that there's a dimension of your psyche that is something that is a mechanism meant to keep you safe, right? But then if it gets too out of whack, it does the exact opposite, right? So teaching individuals how to understand, to look at their ego is huge too. Self-love, right? Self-love, and talking to a bunch of guys like, hey, gents, let's all love each other. Right? Like that's a challenging.
Taken time for yourself lately.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's something that's not part of, I would assume at least, not part of training when you're going through basic or anything.
Right. You're 100% right. So being able to give space, right, and give a language to some of those, I guess if you want to call them theories or approaches or just concepts, does a lot for individuals to just plant a seed more than anything, right? Like if I can just plant a seed in your mind that, hey, maybe I should love myself. Like, what the hell was this crazy Urick guy talking about when we were on the mountain and I was carrying the pig? I kept talking about this self-love shit, you know?
He needed more water.
He needed,
Maybe we should toss him a granola bar.
So, but with any luck, you know, maybe the individual leaves what he's been doing with us, and he can then go start looking for that information himself, right? The idea isn't that you're going to come on this trip and everything is better. The idea is that you're going to come on this trip and you're going to learn something. You know what I mean? And you're going to take that home with you. And with any luck, you can start your own journey to self-healing. You know what I mean? And another piece is with the modern camping equipment that we have. That's a thing too, right? Like, so they come and be a part of our program. We have all of our own equipment, so we outfit them with everything. And then we do all the food. We teach them, because we take whole food with us on the mountain and teach them how to make, you know, like soul stew is what we call it, mountain soul stew. And we use elk steak, which is cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we take them out there and we show them that piece. But from that, then, right, you get to use our equipment. Right, so you get to see what works, how light this equipment is, how durable it is. You get to see how it works, what you can cook for yourself on a meal, what a loadout looks like. Because most guys have this kind of preconceived concept that you've got to use all this like surplus military just
you don't.
equipment, and it's so heavy and just bulky and shit, you know. So when they get to use our stuff, right, they get exposed to all this kind of cool new stuff that we've got to offer. Just even like a spot GPS, so that you can communicate with your family back home, right? Like, so if you want to be by yourself, great. Now you're linked, and you can send out messages if you had to. Because then your wife isn't sitting at home freaking out the entire time. Because she cares about you and loves you, strangely.
And that's why they do that.
And that's why they do that, because they care and want to help. You know what I mean? So then if you can communicate, like, everybody wins. You know? So then they get to expose that, and then when they go out, when they get home, maybe they can start purchasing their own kit and start working in that direction. And we've actually had individuals who have come and been a part of our program and then go home and then start camping on their own and start taking their kids with them, right?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that was, people ask, doing this for the vets and stuff, which 100%, yeah. But yes and no. It's more for the wife and the kids. You know what I mean? Like, because when a guy comes home and he can't sort himself out.
Well, and they don't have any tools to help.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there helpless.
Wanting to help.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the
not
kids
knowing
need.
how.
But then the kids, they want but also require you to be a dad. Like, if they're going to be a good, productive American, good, productive human being, they need somebody in their lives that's going to be a leader, that's going to nurture them. Like, and if you're cut off, completely cut off, because you're constantly dealing with
you can't
the effects
do that.
of PTSD,
You can't do that role.
then you can't play that role, and that doesn't contribute positively to us, to your family. It doesn't, and so I always just think of an imaginary family out there that needs help, and if we can teach these individuals to maybe open up a little bit and give them some ways to cope with some of the issues that they have, like breathing skills, you know what I mean? Like something tangible. I don't know if you guys have ever done breathing exercises, but like just the notion of being able to suppress your sympathetic nervous system by breathing.
Yeah.
You don't, you never hear that shit. You don't hear anybody ever talk about that as like all you hear about is, all you hear about is PTSD and it's terrible. And oh my God, don't bang anything or fireworks around a veteran. They're going to shit themselves and run away and shoot everyone. Like, no. Instead, we need to start focusing on what is going to help that individual.
Tangible tools in a moment.
In a moment, yes, ma'am, 100%. Because you can completely just reset yourself if you give yourself 5 minutes, go work on some breathing, which sounds again like some hippie woo-woo shit, but it's not.
But it's so
it's
helpful.
Absolutely,
it's real.
It's absolutely
it's using
beneficial.
your body how it's meant to be used.
Yes, ma'am. 100%, 100%. And then if you want to take it even further, like the notion of being able to focus your mind, right? Like being able to just take my mind and be in control of it, right?
Yeah.
Like instead of letting it run in all these different ways and go down these rabbit
Stay
holes.
focused.
And how do you do that? You take time out of your day and you meditate.
You got to practice that.
You got to practice that
just like
stuff,
any other
right?
muscle in your body, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
yes, ma'am. 100%. And this is none of this information is new. This is sometimes 5,000 to 7,000 years old. Yeah, I know.
I mean, you can take
I'd like
credit
to put my
if you
stamp
want.
on all of this.
The Luke Urick School of Breathing.
Yes.
But there's so many people out there that are doing this, and it just doesn't seem like that information maybe has the conduit to get out.
Sure.
And I think the thing is, when you start talking to somebody about, I have the Calm app. I love it. And I try to get my husband to do a few of the meditations.
I have a hard time seeing Robert grasping this.
100%, because I do that. This is my approach. Hey, baby, do you want to do some meditation with me? No. Why would I want to do that?
Right.
Well, and so I would say then, right, like in defense of your husband, I get it.
Yeah.
Because nobody's ever probably taken some time to give him
right. But if I approached it with some other aspect, and so instead I say, hey, you want to go to the mountains? Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Same type of concept.
Sure.
Get him to the top of the mountains, and what does he do? He sits there and he breathes in
and he looks, takes it all in.
Meditation.
So you're actually doing this already. Yeah. We just didn't label it that. Yeah.
Well, and a lot of successful people, Kobe Bryant, for example, meditated every day for 20 minutes, right? Like, so that he could be a better basketball player.
Right.
So that he could focus his mind during a basketball game. And they said this about Michael Jordan as well, is that the greatest superpower, if you want to call it that, that he had was that he was just able to stay in the moment. And if you watch that, The Last Dance documentary, they mentioned this, is that he was able to be in the moment constantly. Right? And so if I can keep myself here, right, in this present moment, right, I can focus my energy in a way that's productive, right? Just like Kobe Bryant did.
Huge.
And won 5 rings doing it. You know what I mean? So for guys, I
tell
think
Robert
a lot
that.
of times
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
You should. A lot of times it's just being able to.
Kobe Bryant was man enough to meditate.
There you go. Ooh, throw in the man enough part.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because that's effective.
You're like, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna go meditate the shit out of this now.
Show you I'm a good meditator.
You see me over here meditating? Yeah.
Man enough to meditate.
Man
That should be
enough
on a
to
shirt.
meditate.
That should be your shirt.
That's a shirt.
Or a hashtag or
That
something.
is something, right?
There you go. All right.
Well, thank you for all the work that you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everyone
you.
else who's
Appreciate that.
involved in the Montana Vet program.
And we do have a fantastic team. And we've got Amy and Scott Moss who would make a big part of this, as well as Joe Miller. And so none of this would be possible without the rest of the team. So thank you for saying that. And I love those people. So.
Takes a lot. And then if you are not already registered, get registered for the Knuckle Buster Obstacle course. I'm going to assume we're going to have a page on our website.
Yeah.
I'm just making assumptions.
Yeah, you can go to
Make it happen.
knucklebusteroc.com.
There we go.
Right?
There
You can
you go.
go, again, knucklebusteroc.com, and you can register there. You can see about the race. That'll also take you to the Montana Vet program as well, so you can kind of see what we're doing. So yeah.
Perfect.
Good deal. And if you need a motivational speech,
Yeah.
Luke's your guy.
I was gonna say Rebecca. But
We could do a team thing for the low
You just
price.
get all the you get different approaches
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can talk psychology with the best of them, but I'm not as passionate as Luke is. So
Yeah.
I'll give you the principles. Luke will tell you what it looks like in action.
I'll go run an obstacle course and then fall down and send both of you over and see which one's more
Yeah.
effective. That'll be the true test.
we'll get you up.
Yeah.
We'll get running again. I promise.
So, Luke, thank you for your time. We'll get as much information out as we can to people. If you need to connect with us at Tourism so we can connect you with Montana Vet Program, give us a call, 406-761-4436. I think that's the number.
or you'll talk to some other
Right.
Great Falls residents.
And then ask them what the real number is, because Ingham gave you the wrong number.
There you go.
That's just pretty typical.
I'm still new. I don't have it memorized yet, so that's my excuse.
So, Luke, come back after the
Yeah.
obstacle course. Tell
Yeah.
us all
Sweet.
about it.
Yeah,
And
gladly.
thank you so much. And we hope that you are planning your trip to Great Falls to do the Knuckle Buster Obstacle Challenge. If you are not, we can help you plan anything further. And if you are just hanging out at home, we hope you're having a great time with your family and friends.
Luke, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
We Are No Dam Experts is the recorded claims from Great Falls, Montana, covering what you need to know about this amazing damn town. Damn, that felt good.